The world was too loud to hear the silence. 7 billion people living for tomorrow, never realizing that tomorrow was a luxury they could no longer afford. We lived in a world of predictable patterns. Wake up, work, consume, sleep. We thought we were the peak of existence. But we were just a society built on top of a system we didn't understand. A foundation made of numbers we had forgotten how to read. The noise was everywhere. Every second of our lives was filled with digital chatter. We were too busy looking at our feet to notice the stars were flickering, too busy chasing ghosts to see the walls were closing in. I was the exception. While the rest of the world optimized for comfort, I optimized for information. I found a corner of the internet where reality felt thin. I found The System Seed, a web novel with 3 views. 2 were bots. The third was me. It wasn't a story. It was a data dump. 3 million words describing a universal law that was about to override our own. It detailed the mechanics of souls, the physics of magic, and the end of history. The author wasn't a writer. They were a whistleblower from a different server, a survivor who had seen the same pattern play out on 1,000 other worlds. The final note said, "The grace period ends when the sky glitches thrice." Everyone else called it a gimmick. I called it a deadline. I started liquidating my assets that night. While they were buying stocks, I was buying dried rations and sharpening steel. I wasn't waiting for a miracle. I was waiting for the patch. Knowing the truth is a heavy burden. You look at your family, your friends, and you see ghosts. People living in a world with an expiration date. How do you tell someone their entire reality is about to be patched out? How do you explain that their 5-year plan is now a 5-minute warning? The first glitch happened in Central Park. A sparrow stopped in midair, not dead, just paused. A conflict between the old physics and the new engine. It was a trending video for 6 hours, a glitch in the Matrix joke. Then the algorithm buried it. But I knew the first seal had been broken. The second glitch was more subtle. Shadows began to wander. Light and geometry no longer agreed on where darkness should fall. The world called it a marketing stunt. I didn't laugh. I bought more ammunition. I secured my perimeter. I watched the shadows and I saw the geometry of our prison beginning to fail. Then came the third. The sky flickered. For 1 second, the blue was replaced by the raw code of the atmosphere, a terrifying digital red. That was the final warning. The countdown had hit 0. I locked my door, sat in the dark, and waited for the sound of the world ending. At exactly 4 p.m., the server synchronized. The blue sky didn't just change, it shattered. The simulation we called reality was stripped away in an instant. The age of humanity ended with a sound like breaking ice. The hardware of the universe was exposed. The pyramids appeared to process our souls. Then, the message appeared. Not on our screens, but in our minds. A system prompt for the entire species. Tutorial Stage 1. Awakening. Survival was no longer a right. It was a quest. And most of us were about to fail it because they were still trying to use old-world logic. Total systemic failure. The system didn't recognize our technology. Anything without a mana core became inert. Cars turned into metal coffins. Electricity vanished. The modern world was nothing more than a pile of useless scrap in the time it takes to blink. The Dark Ages had returned with a vengeance. Then the gates opened. The system needed to inject mana into the world, and it used portals as the conduits, entry points for the first wave of monsters. We called them monsters. The system called them experience generators. They didn't come to conquer. They came to harvest the weak. While the world panicked, I focused. I didn't need a manual. I had memorized it. I opened my interface. My intelligence was already at 25. I was the only person on the planet with a strategy. I didn't wait for the monsters to come to me. I went to them. It was time to level up. The first scavenger, a level 1 shadow creeper. In the novel, it killed everyone in this building. To me, it was my first 10 points toward evolution. 1 strike to the core. First blood. The logic of the system was beautiful in its simplicity. Kill or be killed. Level or die. I chose to level. The old logic is dead. Physics, economics, politics. They are all legacy systems now. The only thing that matters is your level and your mana. The transition is violent, but it's necessary. The world had to burn to make room for something stronger. Responsibility is a burden only the living can carry. The mana tide is rising. It's changing the very air we breathe. It's rewriting the DNA of every living thing on this planet, accelerating evolution. Animals are evolving into beasts. Plants are becoming sentient. The concrete jungle is returning to a state of myth. We are no longer the masters. I checked my unique skill, Reader's Insight. Because I had read the source code of the apocalypse, I could see the hidden stats of everything. I wasn't just surviving, I was exploiting the system's own rules. I was a bug in their perfect simulation, and I knew exactly where the loot was hidden. The first night was silent. The screaming stopped when the realization set in. No help is coming. There is no government, no army, no God, only the system. The system only rewards those who can adapt. I spent the night clearing the surrounding blocks. By dawn, I was level 5, the strongest human in the city. At dawn, the spire appeared, the center of the tutorial, a structure that defies gravity and logic, the target for every player in the region. In the novel, the hero dies here protecting people who will eventually betray him. I'm not a hero, I'm a reader, and I'm going to take the spire for myself. They say timing is everything. In a system apocalypse, it's the difference between being a player and being loot. Every second is a choice. Every second you spend crying for the past is a second your enemies spend getting stronger. Faith in the old world is a death sentence. I chose the future. The first world quest is about to trigger. Defense of the Spire. The monsters are gathering, and the tutorial is about to get much harder. The cull begins. They think they can hide. They think the old rules of Sanctuary still apply. But the system has no mercy for those who refuse to play the game. This isn't an apocalypse. It's a grand opening. The old world was a cage of mediocrity. The new world is a ladder of power, and I'm climbing to the top. I've already read the ending of this chapter. I know exactly who survives and who becomes experience points. My name will be the first in the Hall of Fame. Hope is a dangerous thing if it's based on a lie. If you're hoping for a rescue, you're already dead. But if you're hoping for power, that's a weapon. We are the architects of the new era, the ones who didn't blink when the world shattered. Type Amen if you're ready to stop being a victim. The rules have changed. The story has begun. My name is the only one they'll remember, because I'm the one who knew the apocalypse was coming, and I'm the one who's going to win it. Understanding the system is the first step to controlling it. The tutorial is over. Now, the real game begins. To understand the future, we must look at the data. The system seed wasn't just a prediction. It was a recording of 1,000 other civilizations. We aren't unique, we are just the latest candidates. The celestial engine runs on the energy of our struggle. Every level we gain feeds a machine across galaxies. Understanding this is the first step to true power. We must become more than just characters in their game. We must become the players who rewrite the code. By the third day, the hunger set in. The scarcity of the old world didn't vanish. It just became more lethal. People are fighting for crumbs in a world of gold. They fight for food while I hunt for mana. They are stuck in the survival of the past, while I am investing in the evolution of the future. The choice is yours. I spent the next 48 hours in the grind. No sleep, no distractions, just the rhythmic sound of steel meeting shadow, each kill making me faster. Level 10, the first threshold. Most people won't reach this for months. I reached it in 3 days. The system doesn't reward hard work, it rewards results. I found the first wandering merchant, a being from outside our dimension, here to trade artifacts for the currency of souls. The S-rank store was finally open. I traded my first boss core for the Ring of the Void, a defensive item that everyone else ignored in the novel. To them, it was too expensive. To me, it was life. The first world event triggered the night of the blood moon. All monsters get a 50% buff. The city became a slaughterhouse for the unprepared. Most players hide during the blood moon. I saw it as a multiplier, double experience for every kill. It wasn't a night of terror, it was a harvest festival. The system has been here before. Thousands of years ago, another seed was planted. We call them myths and legends. They were just high-level players. The heroes of old weren't gods. They were survivors who understood the code. And now, it's our turn to write the next chapter of the legend, or be the footnotes. I unlocked my first companion, the Shadow Fang, a loyal guard for a king with no subjects. In this world, trust is a stat you have to earn. A king is only as strong as his guard, and my guard is made of the very shadows that everyone else fears. The game is changing. I'm no longer alone. The tutorial boss has arrived. The Colossus of the Ruined Spire, a level 20 nightmare that will wipe out 90% of the city's survivors. The true test begins. Everyone else sees a monster. I see a loot chest with legs. I know its weak point is the mana core in its third eye. I've been preparing for this fight for years. Power always has a price. To gain the strength of the system, you have to lose the comfort of the world. You have to become something else, something other. Are you willing to pay the price? Are you willing to become the monster to save the man? In this apocalypse, the only sin is being weak. Amen to the strong. The old world is trying to fight back with old tools. They think gunpowder and lead can kill a being made of pure logic. They are just providing more experience. You can't fight the system from the outside. You have to join it. You have to play by its rules to break them. The resistance is just another way to fail. A new economy is forming in the shadows. Gold is worthless. Information and mana are the only currencies that matter. The rich are poor, and the readers are kings. I don't need their charity. I have the wealth of the ancients. Understanding the system is the first step to controlling the world. The tutorial is officially over. The apocalypse is just the intro. The real story starts now. My name is the one they'll remember, because I'm the one who knew, and I'm the one who won.